Hi, I'm Kata, and this is Torn City News. Some of you may have noticed that there was not an episode of Torn City News last week. A lot of you probably didn't actually notice, but if you were curious why there wasn't, I had a personal issue come up Friday, so I wasn't in the mood to do any recording. I didn't think people would want to see me being super depressed and smiling even less than usual, considering I always forget to smile, and people are always complaining about that. But I do have some of the things that I wanted to report on then. There were some exciting things that happened. I had the pleasure of participating in an amusing war, which was Vulpes versus Flux. At the time this episode was supposed to be recorded, neither side had declared victory yet, but I'm happy to announce that Vulpes are the winners. This war started when Vulpes co-leader Blue declared on Flux for shits and giggles. As Blue put it, Flux sucks massive chicken dicks. It was just for the lulz. But then it quickly became clear that Flux wasn't taking this as a friendly joke. When SWAT asked Blue why Blue had declared on Flux, he replied that he had done it to impress a girl. So then SWAT sent like $1 million bounties my way, 10 of them. Sent them that girl's way that Blue was trying to impress. So then Blue, being the most amazing and brave and fantastic gentleman in Torn, followed him to Canada and then hospitalized him in Canada, which obviously was not something that made SWAT happy. Then the Vulpes and Flux forum thread was born, and the war quickly escalated from there. It seems from the quote from Saeed that Flux was fed up by Vulpe's recent behavior, so they decided that this was a perfect opportunity to show Vulpes exactly how they feel. Here's the quote from Saeed. The reason we are fighting is because we're sick of Vulpes using us as filler, obviously. But the reason we are really fighting back is because it's annoying that we've spent so much time there just for them to have no respect about it. Me and SWAT spent a combined 5 to 6 years or so giving our time and effort there. It's basically where I grew up, and once we left to start this faction, we left here to go guest at Vulpes sometimes. And at the same time, all the effort is repaid in us being used as filler and Mud, Knave, and Blue, etc., denying us naps. It seems that our 6 years of time has meant nothing to them. So that was the statement from Flux. And with guests such as Bullseye, Murda, Smurf, and JFA folks fighting for Flux, and with Vulpes missing some key players, there were a few times when us Vulpes were a little concerned that the outcome may not favor us. When asked how Bullseye felt about the war, he stated, I hope I made Vulpes work harder than they wanted for the win. And judging from the amount of complaints in the faction chat regarding this, I'd say he did a pretty good job of that. But all in all, Vulpes managed to pull it together and we beat Flux to the ground. It was an amusing war with some unexpected shit talking from Noob Navy, specifically from Devil Soldier. When I asked him for a statement, he said, stop pretending you're a reporter, although he used the wrong your. Once again, used the wrong your again. You're just a moron who makes YouTube videos about shit that no one gives a shit about. Smiley face. He also said, how about you F off or quit? That way the real reporters, sugar valves melted, etc., can get back to printing the proper Torn-related stuff, not some kiss ass to essay dude. For someone 406 days old, you've got you've got a big set of bullocks on you, haven't you? So that was pretty funny. There was also a lot more amusement in the forum thread. I don't know. You can't deny that Vulpes are an entertaining bunch for sure. Saeed also said, it's been fun, wish I had more time, wish I had more stats, and wish we didn't have to fight. And then I'm also supposed to add in there from Sarah to tell them how awesome that her and Mud are. All right, this week's Banhammer, we have Lane, who was feted for 7 days, but he's back. And then also Pale was feted for 7 days, and he's back, and he promises to behave better, is what he was telling me. And then Lindis was chat banned, but he's back as well. Part of the problem of reporting the news a lot later. But recently, the forums were shocked by Pimptress Trish's penis attack on Torn City, which has since been named The Dickening 2017. She used and abused her larger-than-life status to force Torn citizens to view certain body parts on the forums. Matt was the first Torn citizen on the scene, and I did get a quote from him, but the quote was just "Save the whales." So I think he had a better quote on the forum, but I forgot to go look. So anyway, I think the tragic story of Pinterest Trish is best summed up in the words of Just Janet. She said on the forums, "This is a story about a hopeful gal finding a home in Torn. Life was good in Torn for her at first. She got a lot of attention and made friends. She grew in confidence and security, and with that growth came a level of pride at all she had accomplished. This combination of emotions made her a little too sure of herself. Rumor has it that she became a little pissy with some people. So there were those who liked her and those who did not. Torn thrived despite this division of the population, and as the years passed, the division became an entity. Those who were in her camp and those who were not. She treated those in her camp with love and kindness. Those out of the camp were not treated so graciously. I don't know if this girl found true love in her years at Torn, but I know she found affection in various forms from a variety of members. No judgment from Janet. She said from me, but from Janet. I'm a firm believer that girls should be able to find affection. Many willing men were drawn into her circumference of influence. These men shared themselves with her. I suspect some even shared their very essence with her. They gave her attention, adoration, in some cases mementos of their unflagging desire for her. Mementos that she would keep and peruse at will. She was happy in her Torn world. Time passed, and she grew older. Younger, or at least newer girls appeared. Some of the men who gave her attention moved on to those interlopers, bestowing their time and attention on them instead of her. The fickleness of these men cut like a knife. This betrayal was too much for her to bear. Her emotions bubbled up into an ugly, vindictive rage. The pain that they caused her had caused her lashing out blindly, not caring whom was caught in her grief-driven rage. Those hurt by her retaliated by being hurt back, which just made her lash back again. This cycle of revenge became a death spiral of mean-spirited actions done over and over until nobody really knew where it began or ended. Thus came the years when the two camps didn't just feel disdain for each other. They felt outright hatred and loathing. Years passed, and with age came a clarity that wasn't very clear at all. It was more a need to attempt to let go of the bullshit that left her wallowing in misery. When just leaving wasn't working, because the pleasures found in Torn drew her back in again and again, an evil plot to go out in a blaze of glorious vindictiveness and scorn developed. This plot would annihilate any opportunity for the girl to recover with grace, ensuring that she could not easily come back to Torn. Her long-held mementos became ammunition that she fired at the community. She displayed them like trophies, naming who had given her what and allowing all who dared to see the graphic evidence of her dalliances from the past. Her exposure of the men caused the powers that be to ban her from Torn. Alas, not very many actually paid much attention to the loss of the girl. They did, however, peruse her collection of mementos, studying attributes and comparing the artistic efforts of some versus the raw display of heated emotion of others. And there you have it, the Cliff Notes version of what the infamous day in Torn's history that some know as the Dickening 2017 is about. And then she even supplied a too long didn't read. Trish collected dick pics. In an effort to ensure she was banned quickly, she displayed them on her profile with names. She got banned for it. I also love this edition by Rainbowsaurus on the forums. It was posted right after Janet's. It said, "Tune in next week where Just Janet reveals her past dalliances. One of Kata's rejected bachelors comes back with a shocking confession. An SA dude slips into a coma he may never wake up from. In the next episode of As the World Torns." Being the huge Pimptress Trish fan that I am, I have taken it upon myself to start the very unpopular, like 77 downvotes unpopular, Free Trish movement. I created the campaign graphics, started the Free Trish hashtag, and even had t-shirts made up. But alas, nobody, not even Trish herself, wants to see Trish back in Torn, so it may have all been for nothing. If you do happen to be one of the very few that would actually like to see Trish back, please show your support by adding one of the Torn City News Free Trish campaign graphics to your profile. They can be found in the forum thread I have listed on this episode's description. I personally think that now that Pinterest Trish has gone, there will be a large empty space in Torn City that nobody will quite be able to fill. Not only because there isn't anyone big enough to fill the actual space vacated, but now there is a void in Global on Friday and Saturday nights where there used to be a drunken, crazy ranting that entertained us all. Now we are stuck with 6-minute long gaps in the conversation, which has caused many to actually go do real life things on their weekend nights instead of downing alcohol in front of their keyboards, which is a real tragedy for Torn City. We may have lost our precious Trish, but I'm happy to be one of the lucky ones that can say, I have survived the dickening of 2017. Given the failure thus far of the Free Trish movement, we can only hope that we'll meet her restart in the near future. Maybe Trish and Allie's new accounts will be besties in the post-dickening Torn City, a true friendship phoenix that will rise from the ashes of their tragic fettings. I would be super happy to see that. I don't know about any of you, but I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention when I saw Marlon's presidential election post in the forums. It was made almost 20 days ago, and to be honest, initially I thought it was pretty dumb, but I was just recently nominated by Hades, and since then I've realized that this is a really very serious fake election. And I've started campaigning hardcore and global and in the forums. I've even hired Blue as my campaign manager, mostly because he's willing to work for heroin and kitty plushies, but he's doing a really great job so far. Good job, Blue. Keep it up. Anyway, I basically skipped the first 12 pages of the thread because it was boring anyway, and I recommend you do the same. I pop in around 11 or 12. There were some nice quotes in there after page 12. One of them was from my ex-torn spouse. He said, after carefully considering 12 pages of fiercely intellectual debate, I vote Kata. America has set such a high bar when it comes to car crash presidents. Kata is the only realistic option for Torn to compete. That was from Koba. I said, that's a fact, and that's just coming from my ex-Torn spouse, so it has to be true. Then Moxie said, I want to see the world burn, so I suppose Kata should be president. And Bella said, if anyone is going to be president, it might as well be Kata. Also, I want to report that Mat-Senpai did vote for me, even though he says he didn't. And if you guys would like to vote for me, all you have to do is go to the forum thread, which will be listed in the video description, and then type in, I vote for Kata. I don't really want to further bore you with any real platform, mainly because I haven't written one. But I'll just have you know that a vote for Kata is a vote for boobs. Yes, you heard me right. A vote for Kata is a vote for boobs. So if you like boobs, go to the thread, skip to the last page, and post I vote for Kata at the very end. I promise you, you won't regret it. Oh, and I'm not saying I'm more popular than Mat-Senpai, but I am saying that I'm on the list and he's not. So take that as you will. I did recently start a new contest asking Torn citizens to submit pictures that they found on the web that looked like me. It didn't have as high of a turnout as I expected, but I didn't have a whole lot of time to put into this one since I'm still doing the Torn City Bachelorette contest. In retrospect, I probably should have waited for that contest to be over before starting this new one, but whatever the case may be, it was still amusing to see some of the submissions. The prizes were $15 million and a shit ton of jackets for first place, $5 million plus a bunch of tissues for second, and $2 million plus some candy for third place. And the prizes were donated by Limits. Oh, shoot. I forgot to watch the video before trying to pronounce this, so this is going to be really interesting. Eldrazi Emrakul. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right or not. I apologize if I didn't. I kind of butchered it probably. Also Master of Shadows and Blind. And then not really on purpose because they actually just pretty much sent them for different reasons, but Megalomaniacal. I can never pronounce his name. And Yellow Loader. Yellow and then LOTR. Sent a bunch of Kleenex. But Mega sent a shit ton of jackets. Colette won with this picture of an orangutan with 31 votes. I definitely can see the likeness there. Thanks, Colette. Second place went to Bloodbane with another picture of orangutan, but this one with a Snapchat filter. Obviously, you guys really think I look like an orangutan, so that's great. And finally, third place went to Capture Hulk Mad with his picture of Professor Trelawney from Harry Potter. Thank you for everyone that participated, and especially to those folks that didn't win but submitted more flattering pictures. I really appreciate that. I'm glad to know that the citizens of Torn decided that I look like an orangutan. I feel your love. And then moving on to the other competition we have going on, the Bachelorette competition. I'm just going to throw in an update here for that one. But don't worry, it is almost done, I promise. The last task was given to the contestants, but the one before that was to send a funny object or dollar message. And here are some of my favorites. You sent 2,000 jackets to Kata with the message. Oh, this was from Mega. You sent 2,000 jackets to Kata with the message, not even all these jackets will keep you as warm as my pretend internet love. If that doesn't work, I'm going for quantity over quality. And then Dottie sent some chloroform to me with the message, hi there, my love. I'm sending you this sweet smelling room fragrance. If you put it in your living room or close your bedroom 30 minutes before I arrive, you will get the full benefit. And then this one was a good one. It was from Fallen Stars. It says you were sent $61 from Fallen Stars with the message, because you need 8 more. The voting to find out which contestant will be back in the contest will be closed June 6th at 1300 Torn City time. And the next task for the contestants is to answer the following questions. What is your best pickup line? If you would describe yourself as an animal, what kind of animal would you be? If you were to propose, how would you do it? What song best describes your life and why? And if you could say one thing to me and I wasn't allowed to comment or respond to it, what would you say? And there are already some amusing submissions on the thread for this one. And then this week, it'll be coming to a close. I will be picking 2 contestants and eliminating all of the rest. Then Torn will have a chance to vote on those eliminated contestants to pick one that will join in the 2 that I picked to make the final 3 contestants. Then I'll make a poll in the forums so Torn can vote on who I'm stuck marrying for 100 days. I mean, who I get the pleasure of marrying for 100 days. I guess it really depends on who's picked, I suppose. Anyways, it should be interesting. I think that's all we have today. I was slacking a little bit and didn't really get a whole lot of the advertisements. Didn't follow up on them. So anybody who wanted to advertise for this week, hit me up and we'll do it for next week. And remember, I've had a few people say that I seem to report on the same people over and over again, but I do want to say to those people out there who say that, I am aware, but unfortunately, I can only report on the people that I see, which is generally the people that talk the loudest. Pretty much the people in the forums and global. If I don't see the news happening, I can't report on it. So if you could submit it to me either by anonymous mail, anonymous message, or if you don't care if I know who you are, you can just send it to me, period. Or if you want to submit it through the form, that would be great because I can't report on it if I don't know it. So definitely submit that stuff. And that's all I have for today. Stay classy, Torn.